Hey everybody, Farmer Larry here, coming to you from our middle pasture where we have our rainbow garden. That tractoring you're hearing, that's Farmer Jason back there, spreading out some free tree mulch, which we're very happy to get. Project I'm working on, you see right behind me, it's a berm that we've built. Berm is simply a rise in the land, sort of think small hill. And we're doing this for a couple reasons. We want to create some greenery in this pasture, some evergreens and just some interest that way. We also want sort of privacy break to what is usually a full patch of flowers right behind me in our rainbow garden. You may just be able to make out the lighter shades of green. This has been a tough spring. Not sure I can reseed at this point, so I may wait end of July, reseed it. If I don't get enough flowers that come up, we'll just keep the grass mowed so people can kind of tell where the rainbow is supposed to be. Happens, it's farming. But what I'm working on behind me, getting just the loose weeds off the top. And then from our mule, I have some butterfly bushes and rose bushes I picked up yesterday at Home Depot. And then some ligustrum, some goldenrod, I think, and a few other things, including a camellia over there on the passenger side. It's gonna go on the berm. And our new friend of the farm, Michael Luther, shout out to him. One of his hobbies is daylilies, and he's given us quite a collection of daylilies. And I was thinking about putting those in the front pasture, but then decided with all the foot traffic that our U-Pick flower farm gets, they wouldn't stand a chance. Like, they'd be so beautiful, and most people wouldn't think to not pick a daylily because it's only gonna last 12 hours, if that. I think back here on the berm, I'll be able to kind of put out the name tags, and people will appreciate them more, and they have a better chance of actually thriving. So anyway, stay tuned. I'm gonna see if I can use the time-lapse photography to maybe capture a bit of what we're doing in fast progression. Take care, everybody. Bye. All right, back again. As you see, we got all the weeds out, and Farmer Jason there has just like finished off the last little bit of the berm. We're gonna plant steel blue Arizona cypress on the end of the berm here, so I'm okay that we ended up not having enough dirt. We built the berm about a month and a half ago, 6 weeks or so, and the base is topsoil, and then on top of that, we got compost from, let's see, Southern Organics and Supply down in Monroe. Shout out to Holly Chaplin there for hooking us up there with the compost. And then our farmer friend, Lisa McGee, for all the free horse manure we could possibly want. So hoping, actually I know, those are the basic ingredients to get like really super high growing plants. I know when I look at this, I'm gonna wish that all weeding went that fast and looked that good when you were done. But since this was fresh dirt, like the weeds pulled out real easy, and the gardener and me just couldn't cover it in mulch. I had to get that out. So I'm gonna take some pictures midway, and then I'm gonna show how I and how kind of all landscapers kind of set plants out. It's one of my favorite parts of a landscape installation is when you get to kind of be creative and look at the position of plants before you plant them. So yeah, keep watching. We're gonna walk through real quick and look at what we've got. Now, we'd already had a few things planted on the berm before we got started today. This bush clover here is something that we love using as cut greenery. It grows everywhere. I really probably didn't need to put this on the berm, but I thought, what a great place here on the as an end cap to put there. But these long fronds look really great in our mason jars. And then this sea myrtle here, which is coming up in a few places. I definitely wanted to add this. These guys will bush out and more or less will be evergreen, except the deer are gonna eat it. Had some rosemary that I've had rooted for a while. that I rooted from cuttings. So I'm gonna plop that in right there, why not? Although it may prefer this sunnier side over here. We'll wait and see. You can see the butterfly bushes and how I have it spaced out. And then I've got the knockout roses sort of staggered. The butterfly bushes alternating down the middle. The ligustrum rooted from our neighbor at the end of the drive. I have 3 of those, and so they're gonna sort of be the central feature or common feature of the berm. We have 4 butterfly bushes, but the 5th spoke over here, this is actually chaste tree, sometimes mistaken as a butterfly bush, and you can kind of see why. The frond is chaste tree, chaste bush, monk's pepper, something I've just looked up, or vitex. I rooted this last year. My mother-in-law brought it from back east, and it's something that I was able to root pretty easily from cuttings. I've planted some of this back by the beehives. The bees should love this back there. Plus they'll come find it up here, as well as the ligustrum and a lot of the other stuff that we have blooming. So if you look back down, you can kind of see what I was saying, how I'm planting the evergreen right on the crest of the berm, and then alternating off to the sides, I'm staggering butterfly bushes and the knockout roses. So on this, which feels to me sort of like the front or outward side to the berm, I've got sort of the pairings of the roses there, followed by sort of the end cap camellia that'll be here. And on the mule, I have the steel blue Arizona cypress, which you see right there. This can grow to 30 feet tall and 20 feet wide. Really wonderful fragrance, love it. Overdue. We picked this up in the fall. This is definitely one that's ready to get in the ground and start growing. I have this cactus also given to us by my mother-in-law, and I just looked it up. It is called the Eastern Pear Cactus, or Devil's Tongue, I believe. It has these really cool yellow blooms. It's gonna find a place here, probably right here, and hopefully, and no one will make the mistake of trying to pick that. And then last but not least, I have some amazing daylilies and irises that I'm gonna place on the inside curve where I've intentionally not planted any knockouts. And again, thanks out to a new colleague and friend of the farm, Michael, for this. Totally learned so much more than I ever knew, and have some really amazing daylilies and irises, which I will be sure to label with, if you don't know this is a trick. I learned this from Jason. Sharpie makes a paint marker, a regular Sharpie, and I did this. So I got the metal labels because I wanted something that would last, and I wrote on them with a regular Sharpie, and within a couple months you couldn't read them anymore. And the same thing happened on some plastic tags that I had. And so I was talking to Jason about that, and he was like, well, why don't you get the Sharpie paint marker? And the Sharpie paint mark doesn't fade in the sun, so that's what I'm gonna do. That way I can have the berm labeled so it's educational as well as aesthetically pleasing. All right, I'm gonna get to planting. Probably put the time lapse on just again because it's kind of fun, I think, to see a project kind of sped up. Jason's back there spreading some mulch that we've gotten today to create sort of a picnic area up in the trees back there behind the rainbow garden. The sun is out, and it's a great day for planting. What a project. Few hours, 2-man team. It's actually how Jason and I roll best. Super pleased with the product. Love the balance, love the spacing between the plants. Now we're using green mulch because that's what we have on hand. This is not advisable. I'm gonna watch it. If I see that it's hurting the plants at all, I'll pull it back away from the plants, because green mulch produces a lot of heat and it can burn your plants, and you don't want that. But I feel pretty good about these plants being well established. Like I said, I'll watch it. We have the last little bit of mulch we're putting down here. Super pleased again with how this has turned out. And there's Farmer Jason. Yeah, coming to deliver last couple bits of mulch. Here's that Arizona cypress down here on the end. Put it up on a little bit of a mound just to make sure that you get a lot of rain over a period of time. It doesn't end up sitting in water. Sun is just trying to go down. You can see, I mean, there's so much I like about this is a berm. I like the width. I like how it allowed sort of for almost 3 different rows of plantings with lots of space. So I really like this width. I'd say we're good 8 feet apart here. I think actually it's probably 8 feet plus, because I did 3 runs with the tractor, which is about 4 feet a run, but I overlapped in the middle. So we could be pushing 10 feet here. Really wanted something that would allow these plants to grow. Here we are, one final glance at the finished product. Our berm planted. Can't wait to see this grow through the summer and into next year. It should just really fill out nicely. Gonna water it in now. We'll wind it down for the night.